G'day, Finroo here, how you doing? I've just kegged the two kit brews and I just had a little sample, just a wee taster after the sanitizer ran through, and it didn't taste too bad, but it had a funny smell. And then I checked the next one and it had a funny smell too. So I pulled the tap, took it off and took it apart and had a sniff, and it was the same smell. The tap needed to be cleaned out. First time I've done it actually. So that's what I've done. Pulled it apart. So hopefully, so for some reason it was tainting. I mean, they're only little wee drinks that I had just to taste it. And I thought, oh no, what's happened here? You know, as you do. So I went, so I've just washed them, sanitizing them, and I rinsed them through thoroughly, and then I'll put it back on, but I better be good to go. But anyway, what I'm doing here, so I'm happy with that. I got the two, as long as I haven't ruined the beer somehow. But so I'm just sitting down and having a beer, and I thought I'd give you a bit of an update. And so I got a Stonecutter Scotch Ale from Renaissance Brewery, which is an old-time favourite of mine. I think it was a 7%er. See that? I didn't even pay any attention to old Baxter then, and he just walked back out, getting somewhere. That's it there. Renaissance Stonecutter. It's a really nice drop. In fact, I think the awards for brewing commercial craft beer come out today. Can't see what that is. I'm pretty sure it's 7%. Anyway, so that's a very nice drop. Nice and clear, as I like them. Nice clear beer. So I had to give that a rinse through and a wash. But what I did before I did anything is I put all my all grain equipment away. My mash tun, packed it away. My boil kettle, packed it away. All my equipment, pH meters and blah 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 that I use for doing all grain, they all went and packed them away nicely in a container. And gave myself a lot more workspace here, so that when I come to do my next brew, I'm not falling over all my all grain stuff, because that was a bit of a problem last time. So I've got a nice large workspace here. My plan for next time will be to use my HLT tank that's up there, and I will pre-boil all my water the day before and let it cool down to cold. Then I'll use a little camp cooker to boil the water up to add to the fermenter, and to rinse out the cans, sort of thing. And so I'm just trying to make it as easy as I can for myself, as I said last time. So even doing a kit brew, still need to be really, really well organised, and keep everything nice and sanitised and clean, and just make it an enjoyable process. So we'll just have a wee sip of this. It's a lovely malty beer. Yeah, the Stonecutter. It's won a lot of awards here in New Zealand. It's 9 malts are blended to produce layers of caramel, toffee, licorice, chocolate, and resty flavours, balanced by a tart, raisiny fruitiness that gives way to a lingering dry finish. Warm, rich, and full-bodied. Stonecutter pairs well with any hearty red meat dish. And try it with some cream brulee, or of course Scottish shortbread. I actually know the brewer, and he wears a kilt as often as he can. He also has the wax mustachios, which is quite cool. So let's have a wee taste of this. Yes, it's solid. It's rich. I've always loved this beer. Scottish ales I really, really enjoy. Thick, malty. There's no hop presence. Having conversations with the brewer Andy, a few years back, I would say that he just threw in a few hops at the very start of the boil, and that was it. I would say. I don't know though for sure. So that's very nice beer. So hopefully those 2 kit brews that I did, just basic kit brews, hopefully they'll turn out alright. I'll let them carbonate for 3 or 4 days and then I'll try them again. I'll do a tasting video on them. I've got to say that I always wanted a subwoofer for my system. And I've got a Yamaha sound system. And I've had it for many years and I like it. It's got tower speakers, 5 CD player. I've got a nice NAD turntable and a nice receiver. It goes really well. But lately I've been going for a pure direct sound, without any EQ. And because it's clearer, but of course I was missing bass, a lot of bass. And so I thought I'd give one a go. Finally, went in and, I rang up first. You got off-street parking, have to organise myself, things like that. I don't want to park blocks away because it's just a nightmare for me. I get too tired, as you know. So I organised myself. Yep, off-street parking. My car's got a nav thing on it, and so I plugged it in, where to go, and away I went. Straight there, straight into a car park, into the place. I thought, this is fantastic. I went in there. He said, "G'day, how you doing?" I said, "G'day, it's Finru here. I talked to you yesterday. You said you've got the Yamaha 200 sub in." He goes, "Yep." I went away at the back and pulled it out. Put it down there, and it was, as I say, $200 off. So sweet. So instead of being, it was 500, $4.99, 500, and instead of 7. So great. I said, now I also need cables. I need some new cables. I'm not happy with the cables I've got. I think they are dodgy because sometimes I'll play a CD or an album and I'm not really happy with the sound, and other times I'm quite happy with the sound. And there's just some intermittent issue going on there, and I've had them for, why do you think you need new cables? Well, because I've had them for a while and I'm getting some intermittent. What would those intermittent differences be? Well, sometimes it doesn't sound right. It's just not like I'm getting the full signal. What's the source like? The source of the recording? Yeah. You know that different sources make a different, of recordings make a difference to your sound. I said, oh, no doubt. Of course I know that. So, and he talked about source for a while. All I wanted was cables. And then he said, and then he pointed me towards one of those power boxes that you plug in, and instead of using a normal multi-box that you'd buy from Bunnings, you plug this thing in and it does something to the power. Make sure that you've got the right power, the perfect power, with no surges, nothing. It's just pure power. There's a name for it. And I looked at that and I thought, I know how much they are. They're $1,000, those things. $1,000 for a multi-box. So I'm not going there. So I said, oh yeah. He said, oh, we'll let you borrow one. I said, oh, I'm sure you would. That's good. But I really just want a couple of cables. What sort of cables have you got at the moment? Well, I said, I've got some cables. I can't remember what they're called. They're not budget. They're up there, but I've had them for a long time. And I really want to get some new cables from a CD player to my amp, and from my record player to the amp, from my preamp into my amp. But I said also I'll need a cable from my new subwoofer to my amp. He goes, yes, you will. And he pulled out this cable and he goes, look at this. He said $60. Did he say 60? Yeah, $60. I said, gee, that's a good price for a cable. Cool. He said, yeah, oh, you don't need. He said, that's fine. You'd be good as gold with that. He said, that's better than the cables that come with the amp. Okay, so it's a step up from that. I said, well, that's right. I can afford $60. I said, what about the CD player to the thing? He goes, and he pulled out this cables and he put it on the bench as he was talking to me with the price out, and I didn't notice the price. And I said, oh yeah, that sounds all right. And he's talking about how good it is and this blah, 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 and the other thing, and this, that, and the other thing, vacuum pack and gold and silver and copper and bronze and all the other drama. I said, oh. And then he said, and I said, what about the, no, that was the record player cable. And then I said, what about the CD cable? We pulled another one out, put it beside it. It was the same sort of box, put the price out, and I happened to glance at the price, $465. For two 1 meter long cables, $465. And I glanced at the other one. I think it was $185. I said, oh. And he's talking away, and I'm looking at the price. See, he had me, didn't he? Because he's talking, and I'm looking at the price, and I'm going, snake oil? Is it snake oil? And he's talking to me, and I'm surrounded by all this magnificent high fidelity equipment that I can't afford. But I do have a really good sound system that I've had for about 14 years that I'm very happy with. The Yamaha. Very good. Oh, I wonder what's the plug in the subwoofer. Get some new cables. I said, yes, I'll take the look. That'd be good. He said, fine. All I need you to do now is put some money on the card. I said, all right, no problem. I'm driving home going, I've just been taken for a ride. I've been had. So anyway, I gave it a day. And I set it up yesterday. And I tried the cables out just to see what they were like. And thank God, those expensive cables make a marked difference to the sound. I mean, my cables obviously, and would have some cheaper cables that weren't stuff like my old cables made a difference? Yeah, they probably would. But I've gone and done it now, so. Oh, Finroo's on a budget now. And so that's fine. I am, and I plugged the subwoofer, my word. What a beautiful, what a difference it made. And I haven't played with it a lot yet. I just got it, so it's just coming through, and you'd swear that the subwoofer sound that was in the front is coming out the side speakers, and it just kicks in to give it that, not a lot, but just that really. I haven't got it tuned up real loud. I haven't really played a lot with it. I just enjoyed it, 2 or 3 albums yesterday. It was fantastic. So I'll say see you later. I just finished my stonecutter and I'll go and have a lie down. And hopefully my beers will be okay when I clean up that tap. And probably going to listen to some music too later. So cheers, you guys. Finroo, take care. Cheers.